Hi, this is Richard Workman, and my presentation is for the class Strategic Collaboration, and my presentation is entitled Collaborative Leadership and the Development of Exercises with Community Emergency Response Team Training. Now, at the outset, leadership means a lot of things to different people. It doesn't necessarily mean barking orders and expecting people to obey you. Um, that's more of an authoritative approach, not something that I uh, follow myself. I can. I believe there's a need for that at times, not necessarily all the time. I believe in collaborative leadership, in getting the input of the team or the group or the organization that I'm working with and getting their input and incorporating that input into a decision, a final objective or a series of objectives. And that's the purpose for collaborative leadership, drawing in everyone to a common vision, or in emergency management, a common operating plan. And the purpose of collaborative leadership uh, in emergency management, especially with regards to community emergency response team training, um, is getting the input of all the people that were involved in the CERT teams and the development of that program for Puyallup Emergency Management for the city of Puyallup. And a little bit about, a little background about the Community Emergency Response Team training program or the CERT team itself. CERT is developed from neighborhoods and communities and the segments of the populations that make up our communities, our neighborhoods. And these are people who volunteer to do something uh, for an emergency, for emergency purposes, uh, for their neighborhoods to help assist first responders, paid agency responders, um, to assist firefighters, policemen, uh, EMTs. Uh, CERT members are trained in first aid, um, light search and rescue, and triage and emergency preparedness. Primarily, they focus on learning how to do things for themselves, and as far as emergency preparedness is concerned, because if you can get a lot of people, if you can get a lot of people who can focus on that for themselves, they are that much further ahead in an emergency or a major catastrophe than the majority of people. And that's one less person first responders have to worry about. Also, the primary purpose of CERT teams are to assist first responders, like I mentioned, and they're extra hands. They're not paid, they're volunteers. They have a dedicated approach to providing assistance, value, and benefit to their neighborhoods and the organizations they choose to work with. And they're usually sponsored by a fire department or uh, the Department of Emergency Management in their local communities. Ours, the one that I work with, is Tacoma Emergency Management, which is also in conjunction with Tacoma Fire Department. And I used to work with Puyallup, but not any longer. Anyway, the Tacoma CERT teams are sponsored by uh, Tacoma Fire Department and Tacoma Department of Emergency Management. And that's basically the people who teach and train and test the CERT teams. When I worked for Puyallup, I helped direct and assist with the development of training and exercise development for their program. And it's an excellent program because it instills a sense of confidence in the people. These are people who want to help, okay? They want to be a part of the response. They know they're not trained or to the level of first responders. They know they're not being paid to do it. They're doing it out of an altruistic sense of purpose. Okay, they mean to be there, and so they are. And when I was a director for the program and for Puyallup, one of my things was I had to, as far as collaborative leadership is concerned, in order to develop a program and an exercise, because it was also part of my process and project, um, I had to uh, gather instructors. I had to get their input on developing the program. I had to, at the outset, have a graduation exercise for the CERT team because that's the final phase of their training. And the exercise itself incorporates everything for the CERT team that they've learned in the classes set by these instructors. And these instructors come from different venues. We've had firefighters, we've had a specialist in terrorism training, we've had clinical psychologists, we've had public utilities specialists. All of these individuals, their experience and knowledge is incorporated into the program because this is something that the CERT team members need to know. And so all of this is incorporated into the training of CERT and the final exercise. And I firmly believe in realism for exercises and training. And I also believe that no one ever died from too much training. So the purpose of my exercise is to make it as realistic as possible, put it in real world conditions with all the resources and assets and time constraints as I possibly could. And this is where a lot of the instructors, I took their input and I incorporated their experience into developing the exercise. And as far as that was concerned, we developed some really excellent exercises. And they were also controllers and evaluators for the final exercise. And this is where the CERT team members would go through their various paces as far as first aid, light search and rescue, and triage were concerned, because the function, the exercise that we were basically putting together is called a drill. And a drill is where you test and train for a specific function or operation. In this case, like I mentioned, first aid, light search and rescue, and triage, which are all primary functions of the CERT team. So this is what we did. We put together some really excellent exercises with the input of the instructors. We also had after-action reviews, and this enabled us to, all of us, okay, getting the input from the CERT team members as they finished and completed their exercises, and got the input of the instructors and controllers. All of this works for our department to create and add more value to the training program. So this is a matter of leadership where everyone is involved in the process. And that's what I think is a valuable aspect of collaborative leadership. Thank you very much. I appreciate you listening.